Can technology have a soul? Professor Lin asked his class, a thoughtful smile playing on his lips. The students exchanged puzzled glances, their pens hovering over notebooks, unsure whether to scribble down the question or ponder its meaning. The room was silent for a moment, save for the soft hum of the air conditioning. Think about it, Professor Lin continued, pacing slowly at the front of the lecture hall. We live in an age where technology seems to dominate every aspect of our lives. But what if I told you that one of the most influential figures in technology wasn't just a master of engineering and design, but also a seeker of spiritual wisdom? Would you believe that the products you use every day were shaped by a quest for deeper meaning and purpose? A hand shot up at the back of the room. It was Lisa, a curious philosophy major with a knack for asking probing questions. Are you talking about Steve Jobs? She asked, her brow furrowed in thought. I've heard he was really into Zen Buddhism, but I never understood how that connected with his work at Apple. Great question, Lisa, Professor Lin replied, nodding approvingly. Yes, I'm talking about Steve Jobs. But this isn't just a story about a tech genius who happened to meditate. It's about how a spiritual journey, a quest for enlightenment and a deeper understanding of life, became the foundation for some of the most innovative technology we use today. The class leaned in. Intrigued. Professor Lin had a way of making even the most abstract concepts feel relevant and compelling. Let me take you back to the early 1970s, he began, to a time when a young Steve Jobs, much like yourselves, was grappling with big questions about life, existence, and purpose. Instead of following the conventional path, Jobs dropped out of college and embarked on a journey to India in search of spiritual enlightenment. This journey would lead him to Buddhism, meditation, and a profound connection to Zen principles that would eventually shape everything he did at Apple. The students were captivated now, some jotting down notes while others simply listened, their imaginations sparked by the idea of a tech icon on a spiritual quest. But here's the interesting part, Professor Lin continued, his voice filled with enthusiasm. Jobs didn't just visit India and come back unchanged. He absorbed the teachings he encountered there and let them guide his work. Imagine this, a tech mogul who viewed simplicity, mindfulness, and being present in the moment as essential not just to life, but to innovation itself. Isn't that an incredible thought? How did these ideas influence his work? Asked Marco, another student, his eyes wide with curiosity. Ah, that's the heart of the story, Professor Lin said, smiling. Let me tell you how Steve Jobs' spiritual journey not only influenced his approach to leadership and design but also became the soul of Apple. A company known for its groundbreaking products and minimalist aesthetic. It's a story of how spirituality and technology aren't just compatible but can elevate each other to create something truly extraordinary. The room was buzzing with anticipation, each student eager to hear more about this unexpected intersection of spirituality and technology. And so, Professor Lin began to weave the tale of Steve Jobs' transformative journey, one that started not in Silicon Valley, but in the sacred temples and tranquil ashrams of India. Steve Jobs, the spiritual journey behind Apple's visionary. Have you ever wondered what lay behind Steve Jobs' genius and the extraordinary success of Apple? Most of us know him as the brilliant mind who revolutionized technology with groundbreaking products like the iPhone, iPad, and MacBook. But there's a deeper, less-known side to his story, a side that reveals a spiritual journey that profoundly shaped his vision for Apple and his approach to life. Isn't it fascinating to think that a tech mogul was so deeply influenced by spirituality? Jobs' connection with Buddhism, particularly Zen Buddhism, was not just a personal endeavor, it became a foundational element in how he led, innovated, and designed. This spiritual journey helped him carve out a unique path that integrated mindfulness with creativity and business strategy. Let's explore this captivating journey. Early exploration of Buddhism. Imagine the 1970s, a time of radical change and exploration. The world was shifting, the counterculture movement was challenging traditional norms, and young people everywhere were searching for deeper meaning beyond the material world. Steve Jobs, a young and restless soul at the time, was no different. Can you picture a young Jobs, full of curiosity and a burning desire to understand the world more profoundly? In 1974, at just 19 years old, Jobs set out on a journey to India with his college roommate, Dan Kotke. This wasn't just a casual trip, it was a profound quest for truth, meaning, and a deeper understanding of life itself. What a bold move for someone so young. While in India, Jobs wasn't just a tourist, he was a seeker. He visited numerous temples and ashrams, engaged in various spiritual practices, and sought guidance from spiritual leaders. The teachings of Neem Karoli Baba, a revered Hindu guru, left a particularly deep impression on him. Although Jobs never met Baba, who had passed away shortly before his arrival, his philosophy of simplicity and devotion struck a chord with Jobs. Isn't it intriguing how someone he never met could have such a lasting impact during this transformative period? Jobs also discovered Zen Buddhism. The principles of Zen, with their emphasis on mindfulness, simplicity, and direct experience, resonated deeply with him. For Jobs, Zen wasn't just a passing interest, it was the beginning of a lifelong journey. The discipline of Zen, its focus on stripping away the unnecessary to find clarity, mirrored his quest for understanding both in life and in the world of technology. How incredible that these teachings would later shape one of the most influential companies in the world. The profound impact of Zen Buddhism, with its core teachings on meditation and mindfulness, gave Jobs a new framework for understanding life and work. Have you ever wondered how someone could maintain such laser-focused clarity and vision? For Jobs, Zen provided that clarity. He was drawn to its principles of simplicity, discipline, and the pursuit of enlightenment, all of which aligned with his desire to focus on what truly mattered, whether in life or in designing Apple's products. This was not just a philosophy for him, it was a way of life. Think about this. In a 1997 interview with Time magazine, Jobs expressed his belief that life is an intelligent thing, things aren't random. What a profound statement. This belief, heavily influenced by his Buddhist teachings, suggests a deeper, interconnected reality where every action, every decision, carries meaning and purpose. Jobs' immersion in Zen wasn't a phase, it became central to his identity and the way he approached everything. From business decisions to personal relationships, Jobs didn't just read about Zen, he lived it. He regularly attended meditation sessions and retreats, often seeking solitude to reflect and gain deeper insights. Can you imagine the CEO of a major tech company taking time out to meditate and reflect? That was Jobs. He believed that a calm, focused mind was essential for creative thinking and innovation. This mindfulness practice helped him navigate the complexities of running a cutting-edge company while staying true to his vision. A key figure in Jobs' spiritual journey was Kobuchino Otagawa, a Japanese Zen Buddhist monk who became his spiritual mentor. Otagawa's teachings on Zen Buddhism had a profound impact on Jobs, shaping not only his personal life but also his leadership style at Apple. Otagawa even officiated at Jobs' wedding to Laurene Powell, underscoring the deep bond they shared. Isn't it remarkable that a Zen monk played such a pivotal role in the life of a tech visionary? Zen principles in Apple's philosophy. The influence of Zen Buddhism on Steve Jobs is vividly reflected in Apple's philosophy and products. Jobs was a fierce advocate for simplicity, a core principle of Zen that emphasizes removing unnecessary elements to reveal the essence of an object or idea. This wasn't just talk for Jobs, it was a deeply held belief that he applied rigorously to Apple's design ethos. Under his leadership, Apple products became synonymous with minimalist design, user-friendly interfaces, and elegant functionality. Do you remember the first time you held an iPhone? That feeling of seamless design and intuitive use was no accident, it was a direct result of Jobs' commitment to Zen principles. Jobs often remarked that, simple can be harder than complex, you have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple. This statement captures the essence of his approach to innovation. He believed that achieving simplicity required clarity of thought and purpose, a philosophy that has become a defining characteristic of Apple's brand. The design ethos he championed continues to guide Apple to this day, demonstrating the lasting impact of his spiritual journey on the company's culture. Integration of spirituality and innovation. Isn't it surprising to think of a tech giant like Apple being influenced by spiritual principles? Jobs showed the world that mindfulness and innovation are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they can beautifully complement each other. He believed that a calm and focused mind was crucial for creative thinking. By practicing mindfulness, he cultivated an environment at Apple that was both creatively charged and disciplined. Who would have thought that a tech company could have such a spiritual foundation? Jobs' commitment to Zen principles wasn't just evident in his business practices. It permeated every aspect of his life. He was known for his minimalist lifestyle, often seen in his signature black turtleneck, jeans, and sneakers. This wasn't just a fashion statement, it was a conscious choice to minimize distractions and focus on what truly mattered. His mindful approach extended to his eating habits, where he would take the time to savor each bite and appreciate the flavors and textures. Can you imagine living with such intentionality and focus in every aspect of your life? The spiritual foundations of Apple's success. Jobs' spiritual journey wasn't just a personal quest, it was foundational to Apple's success. The principles of Zen Buddhism, simplicity, mindfulness, and direct experience, became integral to Apple's corporate culture and product design. Under Jobs' leadership, Apple wasn't just about technology, it was about creating products that enhanced human experience. Jobs viewed technology as a means to simplify and enrich life, not complicate it. This perspective shaped Apple's approach to product design, where the goal was always to create intuitive and seamless experiences for users. Isn't it refreshing to think of technology designed with such a human-centered focus? His leadership style was also deeply influenced by his spiritual beliefs. Jobs led by example, embodying the values and principles he wanted his team to follow. He was known for his high standards and demanding expectations, but also for his ability to inspire and motivate his team to achieve greatness. His approach to leadership was a reflection of his Zen practice, emphasizing the importance of being fully present, focused, and engaged in the task at hand. Can you see how this Zen-inspired approach could foster a culture of excellence and innovation? A lifelong commitment to mindfulness and innovation. Steve Jobs' spiritual journey didn't end with his return from India, it was a lifelong commitment that continued to shape his life and work until his passing in 2011. He remained a regular attendee at the Los Altos Zen Center, where he continued to explore Zen teachings and practices. Jobs' dedication to Zen principles was evident in every aspect of his life, from his personal habits to his leadership style at Apple. He applied Zen teachings to his work, emphasizing simplicity, focus, and clarity of thought in product design and development. This commitment to mindfulness helped him create products that were not only functional but also beautiful and meaningful. Throughout his career, Jobs faced numerous challenges, from being ousted from Apple in 1985 to battling cancer in his later years. His Buddhist practice provided him with a framework for dealing with these difficulties, teaching him the importance of impermanence, a key concept in Buddhism that emphasizes the transient nature of success and failure. This perspective helped Jobs maintain a sense of detachment and equanimity, allowing him to bounce back from setbacks and continue pursuing his vision with renewed vigor. Isn't it inspiring to see how spirituality can provide strength and resilience in the face of adversity? The lasting impact of Zen on Apple's culture, the influence of Zen Buddhism on Steve Jobs and, through him, on Apple, is profound and enduring. Zen principles continue to shape Apple's corporate culture, guiding its approach to product development, design, and innovation. The emphasis on simplicity, mindfulness, and direct experience remains central to Apple's ethos, driving its commitment to creating products that are both technologically advanced and intuitively designed. Jobs' spiritual journey also highlighted the potential for integrating mindfulness and innovation, demonstrating that the two are not mutually exclusive but rather complementary. His commitment to Zen principles not only shaped his personal life but also defined Apple's culture and products. offering valuable insights into the role of mindfulness in creative and innovative processes. As we reflect on the life and legacy of Steve Jobs, it is clear that his Zen-inspired approach to life and work has left an indelible mark on the world of technology. His integration of Zen principles with business practices remains a guiding light, ensuring that his influence will endure, inspiring future generations of leaders and innovators to pursue simplicity, mindfulness, and excellence in all they do. Conclusion: Steve Jobs' spiritual journey with Zen Buddhism profoundly shaped his vision for Apple, inspiring a commitment to simplicity, beauty, and functionality closely associated with the brand. The influence of Zen on Jobs and, through him, on Apple highlights the powerful role of spirituality in driving innovation and shaping the character of a global corporation. Jobs demonstrated that it is possible to integrate spiritual principles with business practices, creating products that are not only technologically advanced but also deeply meaningful and enriching. His legacy is a testament to the transformative power of mindfulness and spirituality, offering valuable lessons for anyone seeking to lead with purpose and intention. As Apple continues to innovate and lead in an ever-evolving industry, the principles instilled by Steve Jobs, combining Zen with business practices, remain a guiding force, ensuring that his influence will endure. His journey is a powerful reminder of the potential for spirituality to enrich every aspect of our lives, from the personal to the professional, and to inspire meaningful and lasting change in the world. Imagine a world where every leader approaches their work with the same mindfulness and clarity. What a remarkable place that would be. The sun was beginning to set, casting a warm, golden glow over the monastery courtyard. The students gathered around their master, Professor Lin, who had just finished recounting the remarkable story of Steve Jobs' spiritual journey and its profound impact on his work at Apple. The atmosphere was serene, with the gentle rustle of leaves in the breeze and the distant sound of a bell tolling, signaling the end of the day. One of the students, Marco, broke the contemplative silence. "Master Lin," he began, his voice filled with a mix of curiosity and admiration, "you've shown us how Steve Jobs blended spirituality with technology, but what does that mean for us? How do we apply these lessons in our own lives? Especially in a world that seems so focused on the material?" Professor Lin smiled, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. "Ah, Marco, you've asked the right question. The lesson we can take from Steve Jobs' journey is not just about combining spirituality with work, but about finding harmony between our inner selves and the outer world. It's about realizing that true innovation, true creativity, comes from a place of deep understanding and mindfulness." He paused, allowing his words to sink in before continuing. Jobs didn't achieve greatness simply by mastering technology. He succeeded because he mastered himself. He understood that in stripping away the unnecessary, whether in a product design or in his own life, he could focus on what truly mattered. This is a principle you can apply to anything you do, whether you're designing the next revolutionary gadget or simply trying to live a meaningful life. Lisa, who had been quietly absorbing the lesson, spoke up. "So, Master Lin, is the key to success really about finding that balance between our spiritual and material pursuits?" "Exactly, Lisa," Professor Lin replied, nodding approvingly. "Balance is crucial. Steve Jobs taught us that technology can have a soul, that our creations can be infused with purpose and meaning. But to do that, we must first cultivate that depth within ourselves. It's not enough to just learn skills or gather knowledge, we must also develop wisdom, patience, and the ability to see beyond the surface of things." The students sat in thoughtful silence, each reflecting on how they might bring this wisdom into their own lives. The idea that a tech giant like Steve Jobs could be so profoundly influenced by Zen principles and spiritual practice was both inspiring and humbling. Professor Lin rose slowly, signaling that their time together was coming to an end. "Remember," he said, his voice gentle but firm, "the journey you take in life is not just about achieving external success, but about discovering who you are inside. Let your inner clarity guide your actions, just as it guided Steve Jobs. In doing so, you will create not just things of value, but a life of value." as the students stood to leave, they bowed respectfully to their master, each carrying with them a piece of the wisdom they had gained that day. The sun had nearly set, and the courtyard was bathed in the soft hues of twilight, a fitting end to a day of deep reflection and learning. As the last of the students departed, Professor Lin remained standing in the quiet courtyard, his thoughts turning to the lessons of simplicity and mindfulness that had shaped not just Steve Jobs, but countless others throughout history. He smiled to himself, knowing that the seeds of wisdom he had planted today would one day grow into something beautiful and profound, much like the story of Steve Jobs himself. With a final glance at the setting sun, Professor Lin turned and walked back to his quarters, content in the knowledge that his students were well on their way to discovering the balance between the material and the spiritual, the true path to a fulfilling life.